Hello friends, welcome to the session on Assessment Center, a part of your Human Resource Management syllabus. In human resource development, the role of the Assessment Center plays a vital role. One of the most popular concepts in the management development field is the Assessment Center method, which is used to identify and develop the management potential of employees. This method is used in all types and sizes of the organization and across all the level of the management, that is from the first level of supervision to the top management. Designing and running an assessment center is a very complex project, as it consists of a series of interlinked stages and substages. This is a method for assessing aptitude and performance applied to a group of participants by trained assessors using various aptitudes, diagnostic processes in order to obtain information about applicants' abilities or development potential. This does not refer to a location, as the word is used in this is center, but it is a process which is increasingly used by organizations to assess staff, and it is a part of the recruitment process or used for the internal development and promotions. The aptitude diagnostic processes referred in the definition are the exercises and the test that candidate or participant will undertake in the assessment center. The assessment center focuses on a set of varied exercises which are designed to stimulate different aspects of the work environment. These assessment center exercises assess closely the candidate behavior that are required for the role or at the task. The duration of the assessment center usually can be of half a day to 3 full days. The duration of this assessment center depends on the level of position which candidate is applying for. It is most likely that it will be conducted at the organization's training facility. Selecting people based on their ability to do the task required has long been established in the selection of military and intelligence personnel. There are several examples of this throughout the history, but it was between the World War that the German army developed the forerunners of the modern assessment process. So friends, with this introduction, I am sure that we are talking on the topic that is assessment center. Now, we will define the various concepts and the terms which are used in assessment center. What is assessment center? It involves a process of employing multiple techniques and multiple assessors to produce judgment regarding the extent to which a participant displays selected competencies. The next term which is used in assessment center is behavior. Everything candidate says or does during the exercises is linked to the competency area. Now, what is competency? So, competency is an individual behavior is grouped which is specific, observable and verifiable, that can be readily and logically classified together and that are related to job success. Now, in this assessment centers, we also talk on KSAs. And what are the KSA? Knowledge, skills, abilities and attitudes are important element and define the competency which is to be assessed at assessment center. How to do this? So, what has been done? Lots of exercises. So, what is exercises? A simulation or technique designed to elicit or explain the behavior related to performance requirements of the job. Now, in assessment center, one more term is used, that is assessor. So, who is this? An individual who is trained to observe, record, classify and make reliable judgment about the behavior of those being assessed. One more important thing which is required at assessment center is job analysis. This determines the competencies, attributes and other requirement for the job success in the position which is being evaluated. How we do the evaluation? So, lot of simulations are there like exercises. So, what is simulation? A fictional situation in which the candidate is expected to respond from the perspective of someone in the level being sought. It involves example, group exercises, in-tray, role play, presentations or fact finding task. So, friends, moving ahead, now let us understand the objectives of assessment center. Assessment center is a customized, multifaceted process that measures core competencies for effective management and leadership. The purpose of the assessment center process is to provide insight into the current skill level of individuals within an organization. The profile is developed for each individual is the first step in assessing the organization's total development needs and building a strategic plan for the performance improvement. Now, let us understand the objectives of assessment centers in detail. The first one, it increases productivity by developing individuals to their full potential. Second one, it encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own development. The third one, it generates action plans that focuses on each participant's unique strengths and opportunities for development. The fourth one, it focuses not only on the management development but career planning as well. The next one, the fifth one, it aims at developing skills needed today and required in the future also. Sixth one, it uses an action learning strategy where participants work on real world problems. Seventh one, it serves as a dynamic training intervention that requires results. Eighth one, it helps to collect information from a variety of sources to enrich the feedback. Ninth one, it provides each person with individualized performance feedback and coaching. Now friends, having understood the objectives of assessment center, let us understand the essential features of assessment center. Assessment center is a setup in making the promotion decisions, diagnosing the training needs, developing managerial skills, etc. There are essential elements that are job analysis. The aim of conducting the job analysis is to collect the details of the job, which includes task responsibilities, problems, situations, working conditions, etc. This job analysis gives the information about what skills, qualities, attributes, knowledge, motivation is required for the effective performance by an employee. This information which is collected, it provides the framework for developing the tools to evaluate or assess the participants and also give them feedback. Multiple assessment techniques. The assessment center aims at providing multiple opportunities to observe the complex behavior of the participants. It assesses against the dimensions identified in the job analysis. A variety of the assessment techniques are used to ensure these dimensions of job analysis to observe. These techniques include interviews, psychological tests, questionnaires, situational exercises, etc. Now, let us understand one of them is situational exercises. These are the exercises used to portray the most important aspects of the jobs. It is exercise try to present and help to observe the behavior of the participants with the complex set of stimuli which is similar with the job. For example, the decision making of price of the product in a situation where the customer expectation is something different from a company and where the participant is working, whereas the competitor offering same product is at low price. The next one, behavioral responses. The situational exercises provide a lot of opportunity to see the behavior of the participants and gives behavioral indicators which help assessors to understand the complex competencies like innovative ability, research and development, etc. The next one is behavioral observations. the assessors play an important role. These assessors are trained to focus on the behavior of the participants through observation. These observations provide a specific statement of action and even actual words. The next one in this is multiple assessors. So, multiple assessors at a time in a given situations are used to observe the participants. The basis for using multiple assessors rules out the individual biasness about the participant. So, these assessors have the different background and experiences which provide a rich perspective at the assessment center for assessing the participant. These assessors can be line manager, HR manager, outside consultant, trainer from the different functional specialization. Trained assessors. These assessors are trained in assessment skills and framing the references required to find out the objectives, design and implementation of the program at assessment center. The training is imparted to all these assessors on observing and recording the behavior, classifying the behavior into the various directions, making judgment about the performance levels, communicating individual judgments and understanding the other assessor's judgment, using and integrating the behavioral observations from different sources, etc. They also play an important role to evaluate the overall performance of the participants and provide the suggestions for the future development. So, friends, as we have learned the objectives and essentials of assessment center, let us understand how it works with the various techniques and the instruments. Now, we will learn the various types of exercises. Over many years, assessment centers have been used as a part of the recruitment process, training and development, which uses core group of the exercises. These exercises have become recognized as the best ones to assess a candidate's competencies and behaviors. The majority of assessment center uses the exercises, and these are entry and justification, presentations. Presentations includes such exercises like flip chart, group exercises, impromptu, prepared, verbal career. Group exercises, these includes exercises like critical incident, organizational issues, problem solving and simulations, and at the same time written output, role plays. The scenarios used in all these kind of exercises are based on real life situations. The experience in assessment center has shown that those individuals who score well in such exercises will perform well when they are working in the role, as these exercises are designed to see how candidate behave in a certain situation and whether or not candidate exhibit the organization's required competencies for that role. These exercises are also excellent at measuring an individual's capacity to adapt their behavior to different situations. Example, internal issues, external problems, working alone or within a group. Entry exercise. It is widely used at assessment center because of the diversity of behavior as well as knowledge, skills, attitudes that can be tested. For example, the main behaviors that candidate will need to demonstrate in these exercises are planning, prioritization, decision making, management style, evaluation of situations, analysis of information, speed and accuracy, effective use of time. In presentation exercise, the most obvious competency that candidates are being asked to demonstrate is interpersonal communication, especially candidates' ability to communicate a message in a clear and persuasive way. This covers three separate areas: how candidate organize the material, how candidate actually present it, how candidate handle and answer the questions. However, there are two other areas that are often tested implicitly during the presentation exercises. These are enthusiasm for the role, and second one, organizational and strategic interpretation. Now, let us move towards the next one, that is group exercises. The group exercise is a central and crucial element in the assessment center. Group exercises are used to assess how candidates interact with others and to gauge the candidate's impact and influence when working in a team. Typically, candidate will be given a problem or scenario which requires a collective decision to be taken. This usually presented in the form of a brief which also includes a strict time limit when the result of the discussion will need to be conveyed to the assessors. This type of exercise is often the only one that explicitly examines candidates' behaviors with regard to group work, for example, candidates' ability to work in team. Next one is candidates' social skills or candidates' ability to take initiative and influence others, candidates' manners and emotional intelligence, candidates' independent mindedness. In addition to these, the exercise may also require candidate to demonstrate planning, organizing and strategic thinking skills. However, these are usually secondary to the interpersonal communication and social skills which we discussed here. It is very rare for someone in any job to work alone. So, interpersonal skills and teamwork are absolutely essential to almost every role. This may be the only opportunity during the candidate's assessment day to show the assessors candidates' competencies in these areas. Role play exercises. This is one of the most popular exercises candidate will come across in candidates assessment center. This is because it enables candidates prospective organization to see how well candidate behaves with others and is applicable to almost every employee from a supervisor to senior management. This type of exercise also allows the assessors to actually test how candidates respond when put on the spot or dealing with conflict. The key purpose of the exercise is to again see what competencies candidate display and how candidates' behavior matches those of the required role. So, candidates' ability to perform well in this exercise will have a direct correlation with how familiar candidates are with the role's required competencies and behavior. As a part of candidates' preparation, candidates need to discern from the advertisement, job specification and candidates' knowledge of the organization and the key competencies the role requires. This is the example when candidate is applying for a job and basically when assessment center is reviewing or observing the candidate for the various job positions. With this knowledge now, candidate can then ascertain which behaviors candidate will be required to show and which ones are most likely to the part of the role play exercise. The scenario will be based on the sort of situations that are very difficult to emulate in any other sort of the test or an interview. They usually take a one-to-one format with an assessor observing the interaction. For example, handling a difficult customer or complaint, discipline or apprising a member of staff, negotiating a contract or project delivery. Friends, having understood of this exercise, let us understand the working of assessment centers and how it starts. So, it starts with orientation to the participants. Participants are notified of the assessment process and along with why the company is committing time and effort to this process. During this session, participants are informed that the process is confidential and for development purposes only. An orientation is provided for participants consisting of the objectives, schedule and logistics of the assessment process. The next one is assessment session. Participants interact in custom designed interviews, one-on-one exercises, group leadership exercises, various development instruments and assessments exercises that focuses on the behavioral attributes necessary to be successful. Additionally, 360-degree processes provide manager and co-worker ratings and comments that are integrated into the overall assessment. The next one is development report. A comprehensive customized development report is prepared regarding the strength and opportunities for the development in such skills like leadership, problem solving or problem analysis, communication, decision making, planning and organizing and interpersonal skills. Also, a recommended action plan for immediate performance improvement is also included in the report. The next one is individual feedback meeting. A feedback meeting is held with each participant to discuss the contents of their development report and to discuss the individual's action plan. Candid personalized feedback is provided to the participant with an emphasis on behavior modification and overall effectiveness. The next one is coaching or mentoring and training. It is very important, and therefore, each participant need is analyzed, and based on that the follow up is given to assist in the implementation of his or her developmental objective. After returning to their job, each participant meets with their managers to discuss the implementation of their action plan. A performance coaching session is held with the participant periodically to ensure the transfer of learning and follow up. So, friends, we understood that what are the exercises are being conducted or how assessment center works. But let us focus on one of the important element of the assessment center. In the assessment center, the role of the assessor is very important, as he or she gives the detailed observation of the candidate or participant. So, let us understand who are these assessors, what do they do. An assessor is an individual trained to observe, record, classify and make reliable judgment about the behaviors of those being assessed. They are usually people one level above the position the candidate is applied for. These assessors are experienced and successful individuals within their own departments and organization. These assessors have a clear idea of the qualities they expect to see in an individual performing the role candidate has applied for. They will also have a definite expectation of how that role assists them in performing their function. Human resource department in company, they identify number of key people for assessment center days. In case where candidates are applying for more senior roles, the organization may invite external assessors if they feel that these individuals bring a broader perspective to the assessment of the candidate. The training an assessor receives, whether they are internal or external to the organization, it equips them with the skills to observe, classify and record candidates' behavior. Assessors will also have a thorough understanding of the requirements of the role and have studied the job specifications. This information is used to identify the list of competencies and a detailed description of each competency. This helps to ensure consistency among the assessors when scoring the candidates. The assessor gives reliable, unbiased observation, as they know nothing about the candidate. They can only give candidate marks for behaviors candidates show them during the exercises. They are only concerned with how candidate display the behaviors applicable to the role. So, friends, we will conclude the session on assessment center with a brief sum up. Assessment centers are collection of instruments and exercises designed to diagnose an individual's development need. Organizations uses assessment center for both developing and selecting the managers. In an assessment center, experience an individual spends 2 or 3 days away from the job performing many activities. These activities include role playing, cases, group discussions, computer based simulations, management games, peer evaluation. All these exercises are designed and represent the situations that require the use of managerial skills and behaviors. The role of the assessor is to act as a judge and a keen observer. Assessment center offer advantage of identifying employees with potential in organization. Friends, I have answered the questions like what is assessment center and what are the objective, how it works at organization, and most importantly the role of the assessors. Thank you so much.